Hi, Minesh Baxi here. Thanks for watching. And we have Mitch Rogers here with Empower HR, and he has a very interesting entrepreneurial background. So you'll get to know him today, and you'll also learn a little bit about what does it take for an entrepreneur to take, and obviously run a marathon as well. So we'll talk about that. So Mitch, welcome.
Thank you very much, Minesh. I appreciate the invitation today. I've been looking forward to it, and I'm humbled to be here. Very, very grateful. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate it. I mean, the whole idea is very simple. People get to watch, listen to people who are doing things, making things happen, right? Because it's easy for most people to just be a spectator, right? But there are people like you who are making things happen all the time, and we want to learn from them. We want to share their message with other people as well. So at what age did you really start getting the entrepreneurial bug, or at least wanting to be more on your own?
Sure, it was later in life. The way that I grew up, we didn't have a lot of people in business in our family, and a lot of hard workers. I grew up in a blue-collar town back in southeastern Massachusetts, Fall River, Mass, and that was a kind of the way that we grew up. It was hard work, a good day's pay for a good day's work. But I had the fortune of going off to college and meeting some people and got into the insurance business following college. And it wasn't until about 12 years after that that I built some relationships and came across some fantastic people that I've partnered with today. We left corporate America. We decided to put our own shingle in the ground, make investments in ourselves, and I'm blessed for the group that I've partnered with. I'm blessed for the company that we've all created together, and it's been a fantastic journey. Very challenging at times, but very rewarding.
Very interesting. And obviously you worked with other people, so finding good partners is never an easy job, right? And you obviously became very successful with that. Now, is that a business that you ended up actually selling? What did you do, you said?
Yeah, so we started the business off in 2004 as an employee benefits commercial insurance firm, because that was all of our pedigree, that was all of our background, and we served the small to mid-sized business community. And as you know, the entrepreneurial business, they generally run lean on resources. So
Yes.
A lot of what we sold and delivered was more for the same, and delivering more service and more support for the same type of compensation that others in our market were getting. And our customers through Earn Trust started to ask us for more support, and that began to incubate employer services, administrative support, HR support, which we used as a catalyst to grow our business. Fast forward to 2014, we sold that to a large national employee benefits and commercial insurance firm. Along the way in 2010, we purchased Empower HR, which started off as a single state, single location business serving small to mid-sized businesses, and then subsequently we've grown that to 4 geographic regions: Wisconsin, Illinois, Ohio, and now Michigan. So right now we have 80 employees in the Empower HR family, and it's been a fantastic ride.
Very interesting. So Empower HR, people who may not know much about obviously the HR business, tell us how the Empower HR positions in helping the business owner.
Sure. So we certainly help and support the entrepreneurial business, growing businesses. We serve and support with an integrated human resource solution. So we do a lot of back office, payroll, benefits, HR administration. We've got a customized approach that we design relative to the HR support. And we have basically 3 distinct models. One's called a PEO, a professional employer organization, that has all of that integrated support, but then also offers a wide range or a robust employee benefits and workers' compensation package. We have ASO, administrative services only, that gives the customers more autonomy with their insurance placements and workers' compensation. And then we have employer administration services, EAS, that carves out human resource support and just provides administrative back office support for the business.
Interesting. So who would be a good candidate for Empower HR?
Sure. So growing businesses, ranging in size from about $3 to $5 million up to about $100 million. Employee counts will range in the ballpark of 10 to 500 employees. Once businesses start to get around 25 to 50, decentralized, multi-location, multi-state, so you can pick up on things where there's more complexity to the business. The challenge that a lot of these entrepreneurial businesses have is that regulatory changes are occurring at a moment's notice, right? We've had a number that have occurred this year. They often impact different companies at different sizes. So even when business owners are made aware of these changes, they don't know if it applies to them or how should it apply or when does it apply. So it's very complex. You get into payroll tax, jurisdictions from state to state, and even in local markets, it changes dramatically. And if you make some mistakes, if you stub your toe, it could incur some pretty significant fines, for the business. So, they count on us. We become their trusted partner. We operate as an extension to their business. And basically, we got their back. We look over their shoulder to make sure wherever they're doing business the right way. And then, at the same time, they generally really care for their employees. But their attention gets pulled in a lot of different directions. They often are needed to grow the business, but when their employees have needs and those questions arise, they want to get their questions answered accurately on time and with the expertise. So it pulls their attention from really where the focus needs to be on growing that business. So they hire a business like ours, and we become the experts, for them that they can trust and rely on.
And that's not the reason they got in the business in the first place, correct?
It's really not. You get a hope and a dream, and all of a sudden you have success, and now you're an employer with employees that have needs and concerns, and it often becomes a lot more complicated and overwhelming than what most people think. And, we were there once upon a time, and we understand and empathize with all of the challenges that the entrepreneur has. And so, we wish when we first started off, we didn't have these resources, that, we could have tapped into that would have made things a little easier. Our goal is to make sure that when that business leader, when that business owner puts his or her head on the pillow at night, that all of these things, employer support related, are put at ease, that they know they're in good hands.
Well, I think that's a very good point. People should obviously be asking questions. So what are some of the questions people should ask before they say Empower HR is the company I should be working with?
Yeah, sure. So, what we do is it's a fresh approach to HR, right? So, being open to an outsourced model, it's growing very quickly in a lot of different sectors, whether it's human resources, finance, technology. A lot of businesses today are realizing that, hey, let's focus on our core business and let's introduce our business to experts who can help support our growth, right? Employee benefits are important to the small to mid-sized business. It's often challenging to get affordable, consistently priced benefits. So that's something that we offer. We have many employers. We have many employees that participate in our plan. It helps sometimes drive down cost, create stability, and generally offer a more robust benefits package than most small businesses could find or bring in on their own.
Very interesting. And I think people need to learn and be educated on these concepts, because one of the things which people have is like, should I really outsource these things? Should I do them in-house? And then they need to be able to make that decision, because at the end of the day, any time and effort they're putting towards any of these things is taking their time and focus away from growing the business, being more profitable.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things, the profitability. People cost a lot of money, right? The people expense to the business is generally the highest
Correct.
portion of that. In a small to mid-sized business, in order to get a strategic human resource professional, he or she comes with a pretty hefty price tag on
Yes.
that. And then that small to mid-sized business generally doesn't need that level of support on a continuous basis, right? So when you are aligned with the right HR partner, you can tap into the right resource at the right time at a much more affordable cost. So we generally give our customers a much deeper, broader bench strength in terms of capabilities around HR and support than they could find at their own, certainly at that cost.
I think that's the key part, because as a business, you are always looking to, first of all, keep the overhead at the lowest possible as you can.
Right.
And there's a fixed overhead and there's a variable overhead, right? And if you know what the capacity for the fixed overhead is, and then the variable overhead can take over from there. And I think that's pretty much the direction you're talking about when you're talking about these kind of expenses that people have to incur.
It is. And, and one of the other considerations that businesses go through is, is it HR in a box? Meaning, do I have to conform to that business? Am I going to be the same thing as every other customer, right? I, as a business owner, have unique needs,
Correct.
right? Can I align, or can I find a partner that's going to be more flexible and customizable to design a solution that really works for my business? And, we've worked very, very hard at this. You can't be all things to all people, but we certainly want to make sure that we've got a platform and models that are flexible.
Yes.
And give our customers the ability to design a solution that works right for them.
And I think I agree with you. What else do you think people should know about Empower HR before I ask a couple of questions regarding your journey of being an entrepreneur. So go
Yeah,
ahead.
sure. Thanks. Our team is the best, right? I mean, a lot of organizations will talk about their employees, but we as an organization are an employee-first company. So everything that we do goes into the mindset of the impact that it's going to have with our team. The relentless accountability that we have to what matters to our customers. So as we go through the discovery, as we're learning what is most meaningful to them, why are they hiring us, right? We design an accountability scorecard that will measure our performance on all of those areas that matter most to them.
Well, very interesting. Now, being an entrepreneur is never easy. What are some of the, what I would call is success tips you can give to people who are watching to say, hey, these are some of the things that helped you become successful?
Yeah, so I would say we subscribe to a CPB, constant pursuit of better, right? That resting on your laurels of what got you here today, right, isn't going to be what gets you to where you need to be tomorrow. I'm blessed and fortunate that our leadership group is constantly challenging one of our ourselves to be the best version of ourselves and to constantly sharpen the stone, so to speak, to be better.
Well, that's definitely true. So you are going to be running in Boston Marathon, and you were telling me about the cause that you are supporting.
Yeah, so I am. Thank you. It's going to be my 5th marathon, so I'm going to do everything that I possibly can to get these stubby legs across 26.2 miles. And I'm running for the Heron Project, a close friend of mine back home in Massachusetts that played in the NBA for a couple of years. He battled addiction for much of his life, but he's been sober now for over 10 years. There's been a couple of ESPN documentaries who have, demonstrated what he's done in his life prior to addiction, but then what he's done in recovery, which is certainly most meaningful. So, it's something that I'm very, very passionate about, and I'm looking forward to it.
And you were talking about the addition to your family, so tell me about that too.
Yeah, so we celebrated the birth of our grandson a little over a year ago, Hunter James, and the little guy's got the best attitude. He's got the smile that could melt a block of ice. He's a handsome guy.
Well, obviously it gets genes, right? The genes are helping you in that respect as well. So what are some of the things that may be coming up in the future that you are maybe connected to business, maybe not connected to business, that you are excited about, that maybe it's a fun trip, who knows?
Yeah, sure. So we're going to take a little break with the family after Christmas and over New Year. We're just going to head down to Florida. It's going to be a good time for us to spend some quality family time together. We're all moving in a lot of different directions. I've got 2 high school age daughters that are running at 1,000 miles an hour. My wife works and I worked, and the fourth quarter for our business has been very, very busy. So we're going to finish up with a little 2020 planning and then spend some nice quality family time down south for a few days.
So what do you do for fun outside of obviously business and spending time with your grandson?
Yeah, so I'm a Massachusetts native, as I mentioned earlier. So we're a little fanatical with our Massachusetts sports teams. I'm a diehard New England Patriots fan, and you might, if you look at our website, even it discloses my man crush for Tom Brady. So I'm hopeful that resonates with the audience. He did attend Michigan, but
yes.
So I'm hoping and praying that they cross the finish line here and get to another Super Bowl.
Well, looks like it's a pretty normal routine road for some of those people.
Right.
Tom Brady, I think, is considered GOAT, greatest of all time in terms of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And that's pretty amazing history right there for people who are Massachusetts fans from that. Tom Brady has fans everywhere, so I don't think it's a question of only Massachusetts.
We have a good time internally. I've got a couple of my business partners that grew up in the Connecticut and New York area who are diehard New York fans, so I'm often the pincushion of their jokes.
Well, the winner laughs last.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Well, thanks for coming, Mitch. Thanks for watching. I know I had a great time. And Empower HR, if they want to get hold of the information, what is the location, email, or something you can tell, or even the website?
Sure. So the website is www.empower.com, and simply just shoot me an email, mrogers, MROGERS, @empowerhr. That would be great.
Well, that's awesome. Thanks again for watching. Thanks, Mitch, for coming. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it
Bye-bye.
very much. Thank you.